This one has the problem. This one had the problem. And my Jeep has the same problem. We've got this rust. We've got that piece of plastic that runs over here from the factory. It catches all of those debris and the dust and the salt and the road grime that catches up from your tires here, and it gets trapped beneath there and just rots this metal away. We've got a solution for you guys in the North and the Rust Belt today. If you've got rusted out rockers like this, we've got a solution. Hey guys, Fisher here. We're working on my Jeep again today, and this is going to be the solution that we've got. We've been pretty focused on the rust, but there's some added benefits for doing these as well. We can actually get a little bit more tire clearance, and since I've upgraded to these 37s, I need all the tire clearance I can get. Plus, I get the added benefit of cutting out all of this junk rust and replacing that with new good metal to keep this Jeep on the road for years to come. So this is our XJ Rocker Chop Kit. It's actually just 2 blank panels that once we're done cutting these out, and we'll show you how to cut them out. We're going to weld these ones back in place of where that old rusted metal is, get them completely replaced for you so you got a good seal. So for right now, we settled on the XJ Rocker Chop as a name for these products. We're not entirely sure what we should call these. There's cutting involved, there's folding involved, but it's not the classic cut and fold. We're not reusing that factory sheet metal, we're just replacing it with a whole new piece. So if you've got a better name for this, go ahead and drop it in the comments. We'll go ahead and pick one of the winners. Whoever's got the best name for these, we'll name the product and we'll send you a free pair. Step 1. We need more room to work, so this bumper gotta go.
Once it's stuck.
So we got the bumper off. Now we're taking off these because when I'm doing a bunch of welding down here, these are only made of plastic. They're just gonna melt. So I'm gonna get these out of the way real quick here. These are discontinued. These are Napier Precision flat flares. These are specifically done for the cut and fold for if you've got that one done. They had an older model that ran further down, but since we're doing the cut and fold today, these will work perfect when we take them off. So we've got everything kind of prepped here. We took off the outer fenders, we took off the rear bumper, and I've gone ahead and applied a tape line here. We just took the top edge of the tape, went along this body line, got it nice and flush so we know exactly where we're going to be trimming. So just talking broad strokes here, this is actually the Jeep that we prototyped this component on. And as you'll see here, this piece, once you've got it all trimmed out, it kind of just slots into place. Fills all those factory gaps and gives you a nice piece of metal that you can work with to restore your factory settings, get rid of that rust, and keep your Jeep clean and on the road for years to come. For those of you who are scared to cut into the body, it's definitely a little bit intimidating. I've been putting this off for a number of years, but we've got a good product here. I'm confident that it's going to work. It's going to replace all this rust. So right now, there ain't nothing to it but to do it. We're going to cut into this body, get this all replaced. So here's the next cut line that I've got here. We've trimmed out this section here. We know we've got enough material left over here. If we need to remove some more, that's no problem. But for here, we do have some structural bracing that's part of the unibody here. In terms of this cut line, the way I'm installing these, I'm just going to make a cut right here along this tape edge. We're going to make a nice Sharpie line so we can keep an eye on where that's going throughout the work of the cut. That's where we're going to do our next cut. And when you're setting up all of these cut lines, keep in mind this is a builder part. It's just going to be a raw chunk of steel. So if you want to cut a little bit more or a little bit less, if you've got a high clearance bumper that kind of hides all of the crimes beneath here, you could always just hack it up, do whatever you need to in order to make this part fit in there. This is what I'm going to elect to do. If we need to take off a little more material in a couple minutes here, I have no problems with that. It's way easier to take off more than put it back. And now that I've got these two cuts made, I'm going to make what I'm going to call here an excavation pass. There's going to be 2 different plates sandwiched here. There's this main outside plate that's part of the body, and then actually on the inside here, there's another plate that's associated with this as well. That's going to be the interior plate that we're going to be folding up to weld to in just a minute here. So now we've got all of these junky, rusty parts completely chopped out of the vehicle so you can see a little bit better of what's actually going on in here. There's a couple spot welds holding this back piece in. This back piece is actually the portion that we're going to be welding part of this section to. It's going to be to keep it in place, make sure it's right where it needs to be, keep it nice and strong for you. So what we're going to do right ahead is we're going to grab a Sawzall and we're just going to take a body chop right here, right along this back line here. And that's going to allow us to get this piece, fold that one up, and suck this in here and show you how it goes. So we're on to getting close. We're getting close to the last cuts here. The next cut we're going to be making here is going to be just this back wall. Since we already trimmed up this rear wall portion, we've got kind of a floppy loose panel, and it's a little bit tough to get a cutoff wheel in there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to switch over to the Sawzall. We're going to get that one cut up and show you how to test fit that panel. Time out. Hold up. We didn't cut quite enough. So instead of cutting out all this extra material here, I'm going to try something a little bit different. We're going to cut here on the edge and over here as well. I'm going to make a couple of relief cuts so we can bend this one back up into the body itself, so we'll have a little bit more room to work with when we're installing the new piece. We were test fitting it in there and it's not quite fitting, so we're just going to suck this up a little bit, go back to where we prototyped it so we can get this one fitting perfect. To all the body professionals out there working in the world, I'm sorry. We're just doing our best out here. We're just kind of massaging all this steel around, trying to make a nice even seam so we can get that welded up nicely along the whole bottom line, trying to make a nice edge inside here so it's two pieces of metal that are just sandwiched together. So stepping over here to our 1-ton XJ, you've just seen me do the cut and fold. We've cut that one, we folded it over here right on this section. We just did that so we could double up the amount of material we've got here to weld to. This is another example of the way we can install this. Since we had a bunch of rusted material here, we actually opted to cut the whole thing out since all of this beneath that line was unsavable. So for installing this one, we can get this plate, push it up right where it needs to go, and then we can run a bead, couple tacks, and then once you're done, you can either seam seal that or finish weld it. It's up to you. Just going to keep all that moisture out of the vehicle so we can prevent this rust problem from happening again in the future. So when we're talking about the driver's side here, there's a little bit of a difference because we do have these two either fill or return hoses. Those are going to be here, and that does change a little bit in terms of the actual structure. You do have one of these little protective brackets that goes here over the top. This screws into the inner portion of that rocker that we actually just cut out here. So if you wanted to, you could obviously just do a little bend here, self-taper this one up to the panel. For me, I think I'm going to opt to just remove this one for now. Maybe put a little 3D printed shroud in there just to keep grunk from getting built up inside of here. So while trimming out for these, there is kind of a complex curve here. The piece we send out is a straight piece. So if you want to be really meticulous and make sure that you've got all of this working perfectly for you, you do have to go ahead and put a little bit of an additional bend on the actual part here. And that'll allow you to keep that factory body line. It's just a constraint with the bender. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get the factory body line matched here due to our bender. So you're gonna have to bend this one just a little bit more in order to get it to fit. So we're finally onto the step where we're gonna start tacking this thing in place so we can make sure that it's gonna fit perfect up in there. We're gonna take the first tack. We're gonna hold this sheet. It's not fully seated in the back, but we're gonna make sure we got this lip here nice and good in the front. So when we fold this one back in, all of this body line still stays in place. We got a couple tacks on here and actually took this plate. We have a jack and a couple blocks of wood in order to get this thing pressed up into the body exactly where it needs to go. This will make sure that we've got a nice small gap all along this entire backside, so we've got a good amount of material to weld to. We went ahead of time and just cleaned up all the metal back under here so we can get a nice clean surface to weld. An important thing to keep note of, when you're doing all this welding on the body of the vehicle, you want to make sure that your carpet's been pulled back out of the way. That way you're not going to have any issues with fire inside the vehicle when you're welding. Another added bonus, if you've got all this taken apart, you can actually paint on the inside, so you don't need to worry about pre-painting this part. You can post-paint this, and you'll get a nice rust protective coating across both sides of the part. All right, so we've gone ahead and cleaned up this entire back edge here. We've got one of the factory bends, so I was able to keep it so we can mark that one out here. And then we've gone ahead and used a jack and a piece of wood in order to push this one up so we can get a nice close gap and fill that in with weld all along the back side here. And then over here in the back, we've cleaned this one up real nice. We've got a good fresh metal here to weld to. Made sure that all of these tacks can go on no problem. Depending on how you're actually going to cut this rear section, however your bumper is going to function, this could be welded a little bit differently. Optionally, you could do some plug welds from the back side and get that in there perfectly. Do some seam sealer here on the bottom so you've got a nice firm seal across the bottom, and this is going to be a nice permanent piece that lasts the rest of the life of the vehicle. So we've got this panel fully welded in here. We've got it across the board on all four corners. This is going to be good enough for me. It's plenty structural. We're going to do a bunch of finish work and try to make this look really nice. We've got some seam sealer that we're going to put over here so we're not getting any water back into this panel, and that'll keep it nice and tight. So we're going to take down a couple of these edges here just to make sure that we've got nothing crazy stick out. It'll have us doing less sanding afterwards here. Now I've got some just generic seam sealer here. We're going to be running this on the inside edge and on the outside edge. Take some extra gaps, pack them nice and full. This will prevent any water from getting back into the body of the vehicle and rusting this from the inside out again. Nope, it's not pretty, but it's on the underside of the vehicle. It's like the world's nastiest finger paint. So now that we've got these fully seam sealed up, we've trimmed it down as much as we possibly can to keep it nice and clean so it looks good from the outside. We're going to use some bed liner here, some paint match white bed liner, just so we can hide all of our crimes here. Since the seam sealer didn't turn out exactly the way I was hoping, we're just going to paint over this with that truck bed liner and make it nice and look good looking for the rest of the life. Just using some standard primer.
What's this?
Now that we've got the primer all applied here, we're just going to hit it with a coat of white paint. Once that's all dry, we'll get our bumper reassembled on the back there, and then this will be good to go. Anything that we need to hide, we can hide our crimes with that bed liner. It'll be all good. Thanks for watching.